Can we have Mr. Steve Pound come forward, please? Back in 1968, many wondered why a high school All-American basketball player with super academic credentials and a chance to attend his pick of U.S. colleges with full-ride scholarships would choose Acadia for his post-secondary career. It was easy, says Steve Pound, and here's a quote. Acadia stressed academics as well as athletics. I loved the campus. I met Dr. James Beveridge, the university president, who talked about the benefits of the education I'd receive at Acadia, and I was readily accepted by the team when I made a campus visit. It was an easy decision. And for Acadia, we'll go right ahead. Yeah, that's a lovely quote. I'd like to point out, Steve, we don't have video of you playing tonight. Film wasn't invented back then, so. For Acadia University, it was a great decision. Steve Pound became an immediate AUS All-Star and remained so for all 4 years at Acadia. He was an All-Canadian and National Most Valuable Player by his second year when he led the nation in scoring, was leader of a national championship team in 1970-71, and captain of the CIS runners-up in 72, when he claims, had they not lost a couple of players to academic casualty, they would have won it all again. You can also throw in several 40-point games, a score of 30-point games, a career scoring average in the 20s, and the all-time Acadia University 4-year total point record, and you have a student-athlete who embodied everything a young man should be. This was a 5-foot 9-inch kid from Millinocket, Maine, who was told by his high school coach he was the worst shooter he had ever seen. That was the carrot Steve Pound needed, and he soon became the best shooter in Maine in their high school basketball history. He led the USA in scoring in his senior year with a 40-point average, still holds several Maine scoring records set while at Stearns High School, including a still-standing 68 points in a single game. He's a member of the New England High School Basketball Hall of Fame as well. You want to clap for 68 in a game? Why not? Going to Acadia was actually his first experience away from home, and he adjusted very quickly and remarkably well for an 18-year-old with remarkable maturity. When he came to Acadia as a pure shooter, the Axemen already had one. That was Nova Scotia Sport Hall of Famer Brian Heaney, who was in his senior year. They also had Gary Folker, an inside rebounder and a shooter.
Because of his mental toughness and his competitive desire and a natural gift for understanding the game of basketball and where to flow on the court and how to get there at the right angle and how to catch the basketball and release it with one of the quickest releases I'd ever seen in basketball at any level.
The thing that people don't understand is how strong Steve really was. And the range that he had from his shooting capability is beyond question. So we didn't have a three-point line when we played. If we had had a three-point line, who knows how many points he would have scored, quite frankly.
Steve Pound, in terms of releasing the basketball quickly and accurately, would measure up with anybody in the game.
He was certainly a ferocious scorer on the basketball court.
Steve was more than a basketball player. Take a listen here.
But he also had great balance, which would be a tribute to him and his maturity at the time, to devote enough time to class time, enough time to lab time, enough time to develop projects, homework, enough time socially on campus. I mean, eventually, this guy became the leader of the Alumni Association at Acadia University for 18 years. He had connections all over campus, and you don't develop that if you're the kind of athlete who is 24 hours a day on your sport trying to improve.
You talk about student athletes today. He was truly a student athlete. Bachelor's degree, master's degree, doctorate degree. He led not only on court, but in the classroom. And a lot of people talk about saying, student athlete, he's the real deal with that.
His time at Acadia was important to basketball in the Annapolis Valley and all across the province of Nova Scotia.
Steve Pound had a huge impact on sustaining the interest in basketball in the Annapolis Valley and beyond. He had a huge impact on people planning their weekends, planning their midweek, making sure they had the Axemen schedule of the day. There was a buzz around basketball in the Annapolis Valley. Young players were wanting their parents to take them to the games to see this scoring marvel this Steve Pound, who was leading the Axemen to championship after championship. So he had as much to do with the growth of basketball in Nova Scotia during those years that he played as anyone ever could have.
After his senior year in the spring of 1973, Steve helped Halifax Wandlin Motor Inn win the Canadian Senior A Men's Championship, averaging 47 points in the two-game national final and being named MVP. He played a couple of years of professional basketball in England, continuing his scoring feats, averaging 30 points a game to lead the National England Pro League and throwing in a few 50-point games. At one time, he was listed in the Guinness Book of World Records for scoring the most points in an English Pro League game, with 55 in 1974. He received his bachelor's degree at Acadia in Science and Education, a master's in Education at Dalhousie, and a PhD in Education Leadership from Laval. In a letter to the Hall of Fame, his Acadia coach, Gib Chapman, wrote, "Many people don't realize Steve had the highest grade point average for a male graduate in the entire graduating class." Steve was a high school basketball principal and basketball coach in Quebec City, was Alumni Association Director at Acadia for 18 years, an assistant coach with the Acadia men's basketball team, and in the early 2000s, a school superintendent in Maine until he retired 2 years ago. Slowing down was not a part of his vocabulary, though, and today Dr. Pound is Associate Director of Workforce Development for Chinbro Institute, a Maine-based company with 3,000 employees in 41 states. He credits his teammates and coaches for the support he received at Acadia and for making him a better student, athlete, and person. But his teammates deflect that praise and credit back to Steve.
As a teammate, he was incredible because he was a teacher on the court. He really made everybody around him a lot better player. And he consistently would work with and brought young people, freshmen who came to the program, and made them substantially better as players on the court.
Not only did he tell them, he performed at a level that showed them that this is the expectation at Acadia University, that you're going to be the best you can be every day, practice, or in a game.
Twice Acadia's Athlete of the Year, a three-time member of Acadia University's Sport Hall of Fame, an inductee to the New England High School Basketball Hall of Fame, twice Acadia's Male Athlete of the Year, a four-time AUS All-Star, Canadian Inter-University Sport Basketball MVP, twice a CIS All-Canadian, and a Canadian champion at the university and senior men's levels. And tonight, our newest inductee into the Nova Scotia Sport Hall of Fame, Mr. Steve Pounds. To present the plaque, we'd like to call to the stage Clint Giffen, a partner and executive vice president of Premier Van Lines, to present the plaque and the pin, presented by basketball standout and Hall of Fame inductee and a teammate of Steve Pounds, Mr. Brian Heaney. Very nice. This isn't so easy, is it?
No.
You were telling me upstairs, and it cracked me up. Tell me why you loved to shoot so much.
So, I don't know. I like getting the ball and scoring, but I mean, I wasn't.
Because you didn't like to run.
Oh, I mean that part. Oh, yeah. Well, you probably don't know that because I'm so fit, but because I didn't like to run.
Yeah, it's emotional up here, I know. Steve, talk about the decision, because you were obviously really heavily recruited and the like, and coming to Acadia, it was hinted at in that script, but obviously for you, a life-changing decision.
Yeah, I was recruited heavily when I graduated from high school. Yes, this is Grampy up here. and I hadn't decided where I was going, and it was actually the school that I went to visit that talked to me to be about my future, you know, and I was mature enough, I think, at that time, and had some great role models that just said, you need to look at that, and Acadia did it. I met Dr. Beveridge, the president of the university at the time, and many other people in academics, and they took me to classes. It was great. It's what you need to do for young people. You need to guide them, and they did it for me at Acadia, and I'm very appreciative of it.
You know what, for young people here tonight, you obviously were a master of time management with the basketball career and the amazing marks at school. What was your secret?
Well, I actually did better during seasons because I couldn't procrastinate. When the season wasn't going on, I procrastinated a little bit more, but you didn't have time to wait to do an assignment. You had to do them because you were on the road, and if you weren't going to perform in the classroom, you wouldn't be on the court. So,
What about those early Acadia teams? And you mentioned you could have gone back-to-back, but for a couple of bad breaks. That was a very high level of basketball, and you mentioned upstairs again, you just loved playing back in that era, huh?
it was a great experience, and at that time, I know we all know how Victoria took off with winning many championships in a row, and I think if the Maritimes had a 5-year rule at that time, and people that came back for those seasons, the Maritimes would have started that first stint of championships 4, 5, 6, 7 in a row. So.
I wanted to ask you, Steve, you've come back here, I think, for the majority of the past 20 years to this event and to other big events. Maine's not too far away, but it's far enough. What keeps you coming back?
Well, I'd like to say Billy Robinson, but and that's true, and all my friends that I made here, but you know, I have 2 children that live here, Mark and Sarah, who live in the Valley, and that's a big special reason for me to come back, and my grandson, Mackenzie, going to be the first big guard in the family. I mean, tall guard, anyway, it's to come back and see friends and teammates, and you know, it played a big part in my life, and I'm very, very fortunate to have spent the majority of my life in Nova Scotia.
And a final one for you here tonight. Coming back here and seeing Acadia teams go in and past Acadia teammates go in, you go in tonight. What does it mean to you?
Well, hopefully it's representing all the great players I played with and the teams I played on and the coaching that I had, because you don't get there. Somebody's got to pass you the ball. Somebody's got to rebound if you miss so they can pass it to you again. You know, those type of things. But I mean, I really, really enjoyed it. It was a wonderful experience here. And anyway, thank you tonight. I'm just taken back completely. Thanks.
Listen, enjoy the rest. Steve Pound, ladies and gentlemen.